What's up, guys? Vader Taters here, coming at you with another daily commentary. And for the past like 3 videos, it's actually been daily. I know, right? This is Battlefield 3, of course, Operation Metro, of course. Actually using the F2000 this time with the foregrip, flash suppressor, and holographic sight, I believe. I also got that woodland camo for it because I did the stupid ass fucking assignment. But today, of course, not about the gameplay at all. Today, I actually want to talk about the fact that I'm on a podcast. I don't know why I haven't talked about this before, but I thought I'd just talk about the podcast and just talk about how quickly I'm actually making friends from YouTube and just the YouTube community in general. And so yeah, let's get started. I met a guy named Demerson35. Go check out his channel. I don't know, probably 3 weeks ago, right after I started doing YouTube. He found me and sent me a message. Actually posted on my channel on the discussion tab. Said, "Hey, we do a podcast. Do you want to be on it?" I said sure, and then I went on his podcast for the first time a couple weeks ago and had a really good time. It was really awesome. Met some cool dudes. A guy on there named Amon's Solution. Go check out his channel. Another guy on there named D3. Go check out his channel. I'll link all these guys' channels in the description. But on the podcast, we had some good times. Talked about, I can't remember the topics we talked about. Talked about Aaron Hernandez. Talked about the next gen consoles. Just video game nerdy stuff, of course. Talked about why PC kids are just the balls of the universe, and that's about it. We on the podcast we don't really get into like really deep issues. We don't talk about whether God exists and how the universe is expanding exponentially and black holes and Morgan Freeman and shit like that. We kind of just talk about not that big of stuff, just stuff like Paula Dean saying that she wants black people to serve her wedding at a plantation and just being a racist and stuff like that. The fact that George Zimmerman is on trial now, and whether or not we think he's innocent, but we don't actually get into it. We don't actually argue. It's not like PKA and stuff where we actually get into heated arguments. It's just a good old time, and you can come to the comments. We read the comments. There's small enough of a community on the live stream. We also live stream it on Demerson's channel too, in a Google Hangout. There's only like 8 or 9 people in the live stream at a time, so we actually can read the comments and we reply to the comments. Last podcast and which the podcast is on Saturdays, by the way. Saturdays at 8:15 Eastern, which would be 7:15 Central, 6:15 Mountain, which is what I'm at. I'm at Mountain Time. Yeah, represent. And what would that be? 5:15 Pacific. So come check us out. I don't know if you're from Europe, I'm sorry. I don't know the European times. I've never even been to Europe. So yeah. Yeah, just go. If I didn't mention your time zone, go look it up. Just type into Google time zone calculator, or just go look up Eastern to whatever your time zone is conversion, and you'll find it. But 8:15 Eastern time Saturdays, and it's pretty sick. Most of the time, we don't actually start it at 6:15. We started at like 6:20 and stuff. But that's usually just because of technical difficulties and people having a hard time joining the podcast. But they brought me on at first as just kind of a guest, like a guest appearance, and now after the last podcast, seems like I'm kind of like a permanent dude. Seems like I'm actually kind of part of this podcast trio of Demerson, D3, and me. And maybe Amon's, he wasn't on the last podcast. I don't know why, they didn't tell me. There's another guy on there named Daryl, who's also pretty cool. But on the last podcast, if you go and watch it and go to Demerson's channel, you'll notice that there's a little like 13-year-old kid from Canada on it. And after his appearance and after his annoyance and just the flame out in the comments over the fact that he was so annoying, he's not going to be on the podcast again, I'm pretty sure. And Demerson actually put an age limit on the podcast of how old you have to be. I think it says 16. Also, if you want to be on the podcast, message me. I'll talk to Demerson, or Phenom, as he's also called, and I'll talk to him about whether or not you can be on the podcast. You got to be 16, and you got to have an active YouTube channel, which means you actually have to have a cover photo, like channel art, and you all like a profile picture, and at least weekly uploads, which isn't that hard. I usually upload daily. And so, yeah, so you can't be a squeaker, you gotta have an active YouTube channel, and you can't be a douche. Not that hard, not that big of restrictions. If you can't make those restrictions, then I'm sorry, you can't be on it. Not that big of a loss, though. It is fun, though. Come on by and check us out. That's, once again, this is Battlefield 3, not really an ending point. This was like a 30-minute commentary or a gameplay, so I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next one.